All right, so if you're a YouTube creator, you know the struggle. It's real. You pour hours, maybe even days into your content, but getting people to actually click on it, that can feel like a total shot in the dark. Today, we're going to zero in on the one thing that matters most in that first impression, the thumbnail.
Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just some decorative image. It's the front door to your video. It's the thing that makes someone stop scrolling or just keep on going. Get it right, you get a view. Get it wrong, and you're basically invisible. And you have almost no time to make that impression. We're talking, on average, just 3 seconds. That's it. 3 seconds to show someone what your video is about, why it's valuable, and convince them to click. The pressure is on. And honestly, that pressure leads to a huge problem for a lot of us.
Which brings us right to the creator's thumbnail struggle. You know what I'm talking about, right? That endless cycle of just guessing and feeling frustrated. You know you need a killer thumbnail, but how in the world do you actually make one that gets clicks every single time?
And this is what that cycle looks like. On one side, you've got the guesswork. You're sinking hours into Canva or Photoshop, just dragging things around, trying to figure out what font works, what colors pop. It's exhausting. And what's the result of all that effort? So often, it's a thumbnail that's kind of blurry, way too cluttered, and just gets completely ignored. It's a massive drain on your time and your creative energy.
So you might be thinking, okay, but what's the real damage here? It's not just about a few missed clicks. Getting this wrong actually hurts your channel in a way that's much, much bigger.
And it all comes down to this one number, your click-through rate, or CTR. This is the metric the YouTube algorithm cares about most. It's simply the percentage of people who see your thumbnail and decide to click. If that number is low, you're basically telling the algorithm, hey, people aren't interested in this, and it'll stop showing your video to anyone.
And the stakes here are, well, they're huge. Some people estimate that a whopping 90% of a video's success comes down to its click-through rate. 90%. So your thumbnail isn't just a nice-to-have, it's literally the engine driving your channel's growth. So, what if we could just take all that guesswork out of the equation?
All right, we've talked a lot about the problem and how high the stakes are. Now let's talk about the solution. Imagine going from all that stress and guesswork to creating thumbnails that genuinely stop people in their tracks. Every single time. This is where AI changes the game.
Let me introduce you to the Thumbnail Expert GPT. Think of it as your personal AI design partner. It's not just another template tool. It's built from the ground up by people who understand YouTube, who know the algorithm, and who know the psychology of what makes people click. It's all about getting you more views and growing your channel faster.
And the whole point is to solve those exact frustrations we talked about. So no more staring at a blank canvas wondering where to start. No more agonizing over which font is readable on a tiny phone screen. This tool is trained on data from thousands of successful videos. It already knows what works.
So how does it pull this off? Well, it's not magic, it's psychology. The AI is built on a deep understanding of the triggers that make a human brain stop, look, and click. It knows how to build an image that screams value and emotion in that split second you have to grab someone's attention.
And here's the simple 4-step recipe it follows. First, it gets the basics right. Perfect sizing so your thumbnail is always sharp and clear. Second, it adds what we call power text, short, punchy words that create curiosity. Third, it layers in those psychological triggers, like using faces and high-contrast colors. And finally, it pulls it all together and optimizes it specifically for your niche. Let's really zero in on that psychology part, because it's so important. The human brain is hardwired to notice faces and respond to emotion. This tool knows that. It prioritizes designs with clear emotions and bold, high-contrast colors that are literally impossible to ignore on a crowded homepage. Whether you're in gaming, tutorials, vlogging, it doesn't matter. The principles are the same, and you get a professional, upload-ready result in seconds.
So what does this actually mean for you? It means you get to stop being a part-time graphic designer and get back to what you're actually passionate about, making awesome content. It's about switching from a strategy of hope and guesswork to a strategy of intentional growth, one great thumbnail at a time.
And I want to leave you with this one last thought. Every single video you post has the potential to be a hit. And with the right first impression, with the right thumbnail, your next video could be the one that just blows up and finds a massive new audience. So the real question is, are you giving it the best possible chance to do that?